Hey, what's going on everybody? Jason here, JDO Fishtank, bringing you an update on my last video, which was an unboxing and setting up of a new SUNSUN canister filter, HW704B. It's all set up, and sorry, I don't know if you guys wanted a video showing me set it up. I do have my video back a while ago, the Aqua Top. That one goes in in-depth of how I set it up, and it's pretty much the same thing. So go back and watch that one, the Aqua Top canister filter, if you want to see me set it up. But this is all set up. I'm going to show you my tank and some of the pros and cons of it here real quick. So here's the tank. As you can see, it's really nice and clear. There's Ragnar just chilling. At the end of this video, I'll go over my fish real quick. They're still a little sketchy, but they're eating and swimming around. Here's a side view of the tank. Water is just about crystal clear. Ragnar trying to steal the show. I have also now purchased a fire mouth. He's in here. But enough about the fish here real quick. Also, as you can see, I got a bubbler in here. I've had this pump for a while. This was the air pump that I actually bought way back in Oregon when I had sponge filters. Really good pump. Has an adjustable airflow on it. Alright, one thing I don't really like about this canister filter is these little clamps that you squeeze together by hand. There's one on that side and one over there. To me, that's a downgrade. The last two filters I had the same wide area of inlet that you slip the pipe over, and then you had the turn knob to tighten it on. They did away with that, and to me that's a downgrade. I don't know why you would do that. That's kind of stupid. However, these hoses do slip over the plastic tube very snug. I'm not worried about them coming off or leaking. I just don't see why you would actually make something less secure. I am running one of my HOB filters that I had on here. There's absolutely nothing in it. It's just a water circulator. This has actually helped keeping this tank clean. There's a lot of flow going on in this tank. I have the spray bar hooked up. There's the intake. And then the HOB is right there. It's also acting as a surface skimmer. Just crashing the water keeps the film from building up. But because of that HOB and then that spray bar from the filter, there is a lot of water movement going on in this tank. The other thing that I was not able to use were those nice clamps that, if you watched the last video, came on the edge of these hoses. There was these tightening screws that I was supposed to clamp down and lock these tubes onto the plastic trim. Well, on this tank they did not fit, so I wasn't able to use them, and that was kind of a shame because I was actually kind of like that. Ragnar's getting big, and if he bumps into those, I was hoping that would help keep it more stable. But as you can see, the tank is nice and clear. Ragnar's still healthy. These other fish they're a little camera shy right now. I'm going to try to get some footage in and put it at the end of the video. So here is the canister filter, and if I can get a close-up, these are the pipe, that inlet and outlet attachment, those little screw-on things. Those are what I was talking about on the top of the tank that the hoses used to have. Now this filter is not as quiet as people made it out to be. It was actually loud when I set it up. I did take it apart once. I actually had to buy a new UV light. The UV light that came with this was broken and did not work at all. I was wondering how I was supposed to tell it was on. And if you guys can see that little light, that is actually a window into the UV light compartment, and you can see that it is on. That is not a light bulb, it is actually the light of the UV bulb shining through to tell you it's on. So I know it's on. Right now the filter's a little quiet. I don't know why I put it back together and just got quieter. I guess you gotta break them in. It's pretty big, as you can see. This is my 55, and that thing just barely fit inside. So almost overkill on this filter. When I set it up, there's actually the 4 trays. Bottom tray completely full of filter floss for mechanical filtration. The second tray, all the sponges that came out of my HOB to keep my tank cycled. And then the last 2 trays are all filled up with Biohome and some of this other media that I had. So this thing is full, and it's flippin' heavy. So keep that in mind if you get one of these canister filters. Once they're full of water and media, they're pretty freaking heavy. Alright guys, I am no expert at canister filters. The one I have right now is only the third one that I've owned, but the number one thing I love about this filter, and this is my huge pro for this, sorry, the trays. I've got 4 trays, these only show 3. In the last 2 canister filters I had, these trays just kind of sat on top of each other, and if you have a canister filter, you know you've got the other tube that goes up and connects to the other one. That one's got a tube that goes up, connects to the other one. The tubes were slightly cone shaped so that they fit in. Basically what I'm trying to say is there was so much wiggle room for a lot of water bypass. This filter, they all snap. The hoses, the tubes in the middle are straight, and then there's a little lip. So every single tray and tube snaps into the other one. There is literally almost, it's like 99% all the water's going through. There's like maybe 1% of 1% of water bypass. It is so small. If you buy one of these and then you get these trays and snap them together, you'll see what I mean. By all this snaps, the water is going through all the tube, all the way to the bottom, coming back up through the trays. There's almost zero room for the water to leak out. And that's my number one plus on this, because you can make a filter in so many different ways, but in my opinion, the best filter is the one that eliminates all bypass. And that's why I love my sump that I don't have anymore. There was zero bypass in my sump. And this one, this is awesome. If you guys get this, this is the 704B. There's another one that's like the 304B. I don't know about that one, but all these trays lock together and snap in so there's no bypass, and that's freaking awesome. So right now I have the 2 Convicts, the Jack Dempsey, the Jaguar, and I went and threw a little Firemouth in there yesterday over at Petco, and he's doing pretty cool. He's doing really good. He was a little beat up in the tank, but after 6 hours in mine, he already started eating and trying to be a little tough guy. I already am in the works of upgrading, and I've figured it out. This is my tiny little living room here. So what I'm doing, and you gotta understand, I gotta get the wife's approval on this. I'm getting a 125, and it's gonna go right where that couch is. And then that couch is gonna go where this tank is, and this couch that couch gets moved, and this tank is probably gonna get sold. So I don't have to move my entertainment center, and the 125 can go over there. There's plenty of room. There's more than enough room over here for a 6-foot wide tank, and I'll just have to figure out what to do with my daughter's tank. So before you guys freak out about having these fish that are going to get really big in here, my wife is actually really excited even now about Ragnar and how big he's gotten. She wants me to grow out some monsters. So we're getting a 125, and it's going to go right there. And after that, I'm probably going to put an Oscar in there, and maybe a Green Terror. We'll see. Alright guys, that's the video. Not much more to tell than that. The filter is working great. My tank is almost crystal clear, which 2 HOBs wouldn't even do, those top fins. I couldn't even get my tank crystal clear from those. They were at first, and then for some reason it just wasn't enough anymore. The filters just would not keep the tank crystal clear. This filter, 100% keeping it crystal clear, more than enough adequate water flow. The piping is good, it's fairly sturdy. The UV light is working. All those trays snap together. So for like 90 bucks, man, you can't beat that. For 525 gallons per hour, even if you bring that down to 300, that's still great. And when I get my 125, I'm getting another one of those, and then I'm gonna have 2 on the 125, and I'll still use my other HOB that I have on that just for circulating water. And maybe I'll throw in filter floss just to polish the tank. But so this is the 3rd canister filter I've owned, and it's pretty much almost the same as the other 2 I had, but the trays snap together so much better, eliminates the water bypass. So I got nothing bad to say about it. Great filter. It's heavy, and it's probably gonna be a pain in the butt to clean, but there's so much more GPH and water being filtered. And with that, I'm gonna leave you guys with some footage showing you guys these new fish, which they're all gonna be transported into my 125 here around spring or summertime. So take care.